All right, so we'll start off with the brothers first. You guys have just come from a meeting where your mother has been put into a care home because of her uh, mental faculties have slowly degraded over time, and you've had to put her into a home. Your father has recently passed away. Your father arranged for your mother's care facility long before his death and when her mind first started going. He didn't tell anybody, however, that he put the house up as part of payment, and so you've kind of been forced into not only spending a lot of money to place her here in Coruscant, but you've also had to give up the house. There was a lot of hidden fees involved in putting her in this care that you didn't know about until well after. And the lady that you dealt with kind of forced your hand and was like, well, we'll have to turn your mother away if you can't pay these additional fees for her care. Carbon, you being the older brother, pretty much had to empty your bank account to do so. Um, you were kind of expecting that you were going to have to pay money, but you didn't really think that you were going to have to completely wipe out your savings. At the very least, you figured you could move into the house and start taking care of the house, and that would at least give you some free rent. However, that's now off the table. So you're rather frustrated with that. Um, Having signed over the house and paid the fees, the two of you head to the starport to go ahead and leave to return back to Zastika. There's only how much money does each of you have?
I have about 125 credits.
Okay,
I've got 25
25.
after after everything.
Okay, so you're really, really broke.
Yeah, yeah. I've got enough for a pack of gum and maybe something to eat.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and tell us just a little bit about your characters. Carden, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself being the older brother here.
Uh, my name's Cardan Watham, and playing a engineer mechanic working for a was it Gellus mining company as just a low level engineer for the company. Not a great job and stuff. I guess I don't know.
What's been some of your background as far as growing up and such?
Um, I've had a pretty decent education. Um, going to school, decent grades um, throughout school and stuff. Pretty intelligent, actually, a lot more intelligent than probably some people give me credit for or think I have. Um, I mean, hard worker. I mean, it's going to school and as focusing on that and trying to make my way up in the company that I'm with, the mining firm, and basically keeping my younger brother out of trouble
Okay, and
as best as I can.
which is a good segue then to Jasper. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your character.
Um, Character is Jasper Watham. Is about 17 years old. Very unkept, rough-looking, dark hair, dark eyes. Um, Tends to basically have rather worn weather clothing. Grew up basically in and out of the home. Did not have a good relationship with his father. Got in arguments a lot. Um, Basically, Jasper has been kind of thinks he's the second son, and obviously his brother has been more favored, but he didn't like going to school. If he ever had like a big argument with his father, he would leave, and basically he found he could make a sort of living out in the streets doing a little bit of skullduggery, pickpocketing. Basically hooked up with some of the underworld there, doing odd jobs for them. And if things got hot outside, he'd come back home and work with his parents. And he kind of more had a better relationship with his mother because the mother tolerated him. But basically, one time he had a big argument with his dad, and after what happened, he got kicked out of the house. So, but he still stayed in contact with his mother, and that's how Cardin was able to contact him
Okay.
after his father's died. But more of a thief, very chaotic as far as doesn't follow rules, doesn't like rules, wants to do whatever he wants.
Not necessarily a hardened criminal, but certainly of the criminal class, if like a criminal light maybe.
Well, heck, I'm just making money, so I'm happy with that.
Okay, so you guys are entering the starport. Like I said, you've just come from a very frustrating meeting. You're now broke. Go ahead and role play that. Because at this point, you kind of need to find. You can't afford a normal cruise ship or a carrier ship back to Zostika. The prices are anywhere from 1,200 credits and up, and even the lowest coach class is going to be around 1,000. And you've pretty much had to spend the money that you were going to use to get home to pay the care facility for your mother. There are options. Jasper kind of thinks that you could probably find passage on a cargo ship or something like that. So you're kind of going through the starport looking for like a concierge or something like that can you can kind of talk into booking you passage on somebody's cargo ship or something of that nature. So go ahead and play that one out for a little bit.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think we could just maybe stow away a little bit on one of those transports. We've got to find one going to Zatiga, don't we?
Cardin, we can't hear you. There we go.
And they're going to throw us out the airlock. Great plan. That is, that's a excellent plan there, that they could just throw us out of the airlock if they find us stowing away.
Well,
Gotta find something.
At least I have a plan. You don't have a plan. Where's your plan? You're the smart brother. You got all the education.
He doesn't even have money.
I've got 25 credits to my name after all of this, because I'm the one who's forked out thousands of credits to get Mom back in to get Mom placed in this facility. I've got to get back to work. I've got a job. My boss is on me. I've got deadlines to make. I'm taking care of her, and apparently not the house anymore. And I need some help with this. I'm the one that's working constantly and trying to make sure that everything is keeping you out of jail, keeping you out of prison, whatever, and taking care of Mom and everything. I need you to help out a little bit more.
Well, first things first. We got to get back to Zatiga. We got back to home. We know we have all our friends there. You have your job there, so we got to go find somebody who's going there. Find somebody who's going there and see if we can make out some kind of deal. Maybe work for them, hauling cargo or something, or security. You're the strong type. I could at least find somebody going to Zatiga.
You at this point you do find the concierge desk, and there's a rather well dressed human male. He's a little bit older. Um, he seems rather professionally friendly, but he also looks rather smug as you walk up to him because he especially looks at Jasper. Carton he doesn't so much cast aspersions on, but he looks at Jasper and it's kind of like who are you? Because he's the one that deals with all, he's seen your kind of riffraff before on Coruscant, and so he feels like this is somebody I shouldn't have to deal with. But he brustles up his chest, and how may I help you?
We're trying to get back to Satika, and something relatively inexpensive due to financial difficulties that we've been
Okay,
experienced.
That shouldn't be a problem. And he reaches in, pulls up the monitor there, and he starts flipping through stuff. He says, we have many affordable transportations. Let's see, I can book you on this flight. That'll be 950 credits. Am I getting a seat for both of you, or just one? And he points to Carden.
Well, we're not going to be sharing a seat.
He kind of bristles a little bit. So then I should book that for 2.
Yeah.
2 is the amount of people that will be going, but is there anything a little bit more?
We're looking for something with no frills. Maybe as cargo. Would cargo work? Would be cheaper? Maybe we can go as cargo. Put us in a little box.
I see. Let me see. And he flips through, pushes his glasses up a little bit. I suppose we could find a cargo vessel that's going your way. Let's see. Yes, there is a cargo vessel that's going to Zastiga here in a couple hours. I could speak to the captain, and I'm sure for a nominal fee he would transport you there. He sticks his hand out.
What does nominal mean? Is that cheap?
It means very cheap, yes.
Okay.
I just look at it.
How cheap?
That will be determined by the captain himself. Just have a seat over there, and I will make the arrangements. I'll let you know when he's ready to leave. And he points over to a row of some really bad vinyl leather seats. They're comfortable for about the first 5 or 10 minutes, but then they're the kind where you're really shifting your weight around quite a bit, and they're all connected, so there's no separation between everybody.
And did you say that he kind of held out his hand for a tip?
He was wanting a gratuity for hooking you up. Yeah.
I'll give him. Kind of look sheepishly at him and hand him over 10 credits. I mean, it's not much, but I mean, it's.
He closes his hand and thank you very much, sir. And then he opens his hand and looks at it.
Like I said, financial difficulties.
Yes, of course, yes.
I mean,
and then he turns and goes back to what he was doing, shuffling some papers and looking through stuff or whatever. So you guys have a seat and more or less just waiting on him. Now we'll go to Daymont. You've been traveling through Coruscant, making your way to the starport. You kind of have a cowl over your head, so you don't want to be noticed. You're moving through back streets, making sure you're not running into anybody that you know or that might recognize you. You're very tired and paranoid from dodging anybody who might recognize you. And even in the starport, you come in like a back entrance and kind of make your way through back halls and stuff like that. Places that you know that you can get through because they would usher VIPs and senators and things like that through these other channels to keep them separated from the general traveling population. So you kind of move through those because you know that there's nobody there really, and you eventually make your way to the concierge because you know that you need to keep a low key and you don't want your name on any records. So you're looking for a way to Zastiga to maybe get a new start and leave behind the name here. You've kept a few maybe 1,000 card credits on you, but you can't really get to your bank accounts. It'll sustain you for a while, but you know that once you get to Zastiga, you're going to have to come up with something else because that money is not going to last forever. But you approach the concierge as well, and he's busy down on the his computer terminal going through stuff.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
What kind of flights you have coming out of here right now?
Well, that's a rather broad question. We have flights going everywhere right now.
Where is... I'm thinking of a destination, maybe a little bit of vacation. I'm going to surprise myself. What's the quickest?
Quickest to where? Exactly.
When is your next flight out?
It depends on where you want to go. We have flights that move every minute of the day.
What is that?
As a sidebar, keep in mind that you are planning to go to Zastiga because you had a professional friend, so to speak, that had told you like a year ago who was in some trouble with the law, and he took off to Zastiga. But he had sent you a message on his way out, and he had said that, hey, there's a lot of opportunity out here, and you should think about leaving behind the bureaucracy of Coruscant and the headaches involved there, and come out here and really have true seat of power in an up and coming place. So that is where you're looking to go.
I like that Zastiga up there.
Zastiga, yes. We have three outbound flights within the next 5 hours. If you prefer, I can easily book you a passage right here.
Whatever's the quickest and easiest.
Well, we have one that's leaving in exactly 20 minutes. Looks like we have some seats in first class. That'll be 2,500 credits.
All right. I'm an aide working for Bellar Musk. You must know him.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to have this charged to his account.
And your name is, and he's typing in Bellar Musk,
I'm an aide from his office. If you'd like me to get him on my comm link now, that's fine. But I guarantee you do not want me to get him involved right now. He's a very busy man, probably in a couple of meetings, and this trip is very important to him.
Give me a persuasion check. Average difficulty, and throw in one black die because he's not necessarily going to just charge something to somebody's account just because somebody walks up and says it.
Not getting persuasion.
Charm. I'm sorry, charm.
Okay. And what's the difficulty?
2 purple and 1 black.
All right.
3 advantage. Okay, so you don't necessarily convince him to book you passage on Elon Musk's account, but how did you want to use your advantage?
Can you hear me still?
Mm-hmm.
My stuff wasn't coming through a minute. How about the advantage is that he's not going to book me a solid flight on it, but because of Bellar Musk's status, he offers me a seat at a super cut rate of approximately 50 credits. It is 3 advantage. That's
Okay,
quite a
okay.
bit.
You know, I'll say, well, I can't book anything necessarily to the senator's account as you aren't providing any information for me, but uh, it, I do have some passage on a cargo ship. There's some gentlemen, and he looks over your shoulder at them seated there. And it, I could possibly get you in there, probably 25, 30 minutes maybe.
That's convenient, I guess. It's fine.
If that is your price range. Happy to be of service, and he, puts his hand out.
I kind of pointed his hand and be like, you can charge that to Bellar Musk's account also.
Yes, have a seat over there, sir. You can hear him. You can hear him grumbling to himself as you guys are sitting there, and he's just, I can't believe the riffraff is coming. I used to be a pilot. I could do that. And now we'll go to Renzio. You move through Coruscant as well incognito. You know that there's a potential bounty out for you, and so you're kind of moving through in the most crowded sectors, because you feel like you could you could blend in better. If you move through the poor districts and stuff like that, there's probably a good chance that a money-hungry eye would catch you and possibly run a bounty check on you or something like that. Your sadness over your prior experience with your family and that is starting to turn to frustration and anger, because it's all starting to sink in, everything, and you're kind of getting more mad about it than depressed about it. You've pretty much spent all your remaining money on a slicer to go in and remove your name from the bounty pool and change your picture. You don't know if that's kicked in yet or not, so you're still kind of moving stealthily through there. You're hoping that it goes through, but just before leaving for the starport, you had paid this guy, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it." And you paid him a good hefty sum, but it's pretty much most of your money. You have a couple hundred credits on you, and you're hoping to get off world. You had a buddy who was in your unit who had sent you a message shortly after your unit was disbanded, and he had told you that there's a lot of money to be made on Zostiga. There's a lot of work for ex-military and such out there, and you should head out there if you're running into dire straits. And so you decided to go ahead and make your way there. You do know that you need to keep your name off of anything, because you're worried that there's a good chance, if there is still a bounty for you, your name's going to get flagged. So you get to the starport and make your way towards the concierge desk. And you see a young kid, a teenage boy. You see an older gentleman sitting next to him, and then you see a middle-aged gentleman with his hood kind of up over his head a little bit, and he's just kind of sitting there. And they're just patiently waiting, and then you see the older gentleman with gray hair and spectacles. His hair is slicked back, and he's busy going through paperwork and such.
Okay. What's hold on. What's the concierge's name? Or does he
Uh,
have a name?
it's his badge says Oysen Eric.
Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Olson.
Yes. How may I help you?
Um, I need to get a flight out.
Okay, then I'd say you come to the right place.
All right. Um, I'm probably looking to get away from here, but where the money is, I've heard that. What's the place called?
Zastiga.
Zastiga. So how much would it cost to get a ride out there?
We have 3 or 4 flights leaving in the next couple hours. Prices range from 1,000 to 2,000, depends on which flight you'd want to take.
What would a cargo flight be?
Well, as it so happens, I have a group of individuals here who are looking for the same inexpensive flight.
Hey, maybe we can get a group rate.
He looks over Renzio's shoulders and just gives you the total stink eye.
He's not having a good day with these flights.
It might be 50 credits or so. I'm trying to reach the captain as we speak. Does this suit you, sir?
Yes, this is fine.
There's, of course, a gratuity for my services.
Sure. So give him the money.
How much do you give him?
Well, how much did you say was a cargo ride?
It said probably around 50 credits.
Okay, so I said, what about 45 credits?
I'll take 45 credits, indeed.
Okay. Then I'll go with that.
Okay, so he takes the 45 credits, tucks it into his pocket, and the final price will be determined by the captain himself. He will speak to you when that arrives. I do thank you for the gratuity, though. You may have a seat over there with the rest of the gentlemen, and I will be with you shortly.
You're a pissant.
He
Look
pushes
out,
that
punch you in the mouth.
Yes, please have a seat, sir.
Fine.
You gave him 45 credits. He'll take a little bit of abuse from you.
I'm pissed off. I don't like his attitude, so I'm going through a bunch of crap right now, and it's rubbed me the wrong way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, he hasn't. He hasn't. I hopefully. I hope that he doesn't get fired because I mean all these cargo flights that he's booking. Forget about actual good flights. Let's get the horrible flights.
Well, he knows if somebody can't pay, he should at least make a little bit of money. So if he makes, I mean, off of you guys a little less than 100 credits for sticking you guys on a cargo flight as opposed to you guys not flying at all, yeah, he'll take that little bit of pad on his pocket.
Especially 45 credits from.
Yeah, you at least just bought him lunch.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So I look over to Jasper. Jasper, you know that you're paying for the rest of mine, right?
Dude, maybe we don't have to pay at all. Maybe get somebody else pay for it. I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I probably much not gonna be paying him for it. So, Mr. Hood Guy, what's your name? What you doing here?
You're speaking to me.
Look at the guy with the hood. Yeah. You. You're the only guy with a hood here.
I'm the pilot of this flight. Would you like to pay me the credits for flight?
You got a ship? What's the name of the ship?
This one right here, this is the cargo ship you're getting ready to take, right? I'll make you a deal. 40 for you and the one you were arguing with a minute ago. Flat rate.
I want to see the ship first.
Well, we'll head to the ship shortly, but I actually need the coins up front.
I don't fall for this kind of scam. I've been around the streets a bit. I know how it works. Let me see the ship, and then I'll go.
The price goes up next time you ask to see the ship.
I look over at my brother. I don't have the credits on me. Maybe I can work for something. Do a job. Do it like, what do they call it? Pro bono? Is that the word they use?
At any point, too, like in a situation like this, if you want to ask for a persuasion check or anything like that off of each other, feel free to, make that call yourself. If you feel
well,
like
I think my Jasper is definitely going to try to do persuasion check. See first of all, he wants to see if this guy's an actual ship's captain.
Right.
So if he's trying to deceive him or not.
How are you going to determine that?
Well, like I said, asking him questions like what the ship name is.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the ship, what type of ship it is.
So far, he hasn't provided much of anything.
Yeah, and Jasper's been around quite a bit, so.
Yeah, he's not necessarily going to fall for the okie doke right away.
I ain't heard that word in a while.
Oysen gets after about 10 or 15 minutes. You see Oysen on the phone, and he's talking to somebody, and it looks like it sort of gets into a heated argument, and you can see him bristling. And it ends with you can hear him saying, "Well, I don't think you have a choice, Den, or you could always just pay your tab. I don't care. Charge whatever you like." Boom! He slams the phone down. Takes a deep breath and pushes his glasses back up, looks over at you guys, and says, "Your ship is waiting. If you'll please follow me." And he comes around from the desk or whatever and waits for you guys to stand up.
I go over with him.
Stand up, grab my backpack, grab my data pad, and head over towards him.
The rest of you are following as well?
Yeah, I'm standing
Yes.
following the guy.
Okay.
Yep.
I get up shaking my head thinking, what am I doing here?
As you each make your way there, he takes you, and you can tell he's excited about this. He doesn't get a chance to drive the carrier hover cart very often for passengers, but he gets up and he starts it up, and he's very excited, tells you all to take a seat on it, and off he goes, and he's buzzing down the hallways and stuff, and he takes you out to the commercial cargo wing of the starport. And as you pull up, you see a ship, and it's sort of like a one cylinder, and then you see one big wing off to the side, and the ramp is down on it, and you see this haggard human guy sitting there. He looks older, probably in his 50s or so, and he's sitting in like this camping style chair at the bottom of it, and his head's kind of down, and he hears the cart come up and stop. He looks up, and you can see his attire. It looks like it might have been a uniform at one point of some kind. It's a tight-fitting black with like blue stripes on the sleeves, and then there's like a blue spot here where there was probably insignias or something like that, but that's long since been removed. You can see the stitching holes and stuff like that, and it's very faded. So he's long since been out of service, if that was any kind of uniform. And he looks up with a sort of aggravated look, and he's like, "This is my ship, my rules. 100 credits each. Don't expect room service. I got 2 spare rooms with 4 bunks. Make yourself comfortable in the galley. We take off in 20 minutes. And he puts his hand out.
I think we're supposed to get a deal here. That 500 credits seems a little steep.
What kind of uniform did you say it was?
You can't tell. It's just a faded uniform. It looks like it was a uniform at one point, but who knows?
Like military or work uniform?
Probably military, not work. After you say this, Jasper, Oysen, and he goes up and he whispers in this guy's ear, and the guy just kind of rolls his eyes. 50 credits each.
What? Nobody got 50 credits?
I give my.
How many times are we supposed to pay to ride this freaking ship, man?
Oysten says, "Okay, well, you gentlemen can work this out for yourselves. Have a nice, safe flight." And he gets on the hover thing and whips it around, and back out the door he goes. Like I said, 50 credits.
I take out my last. I'll take out 10 of my last 15 credits. Kind of just slap it into Jasper's hand. There you go, bro. I got enough to maybe eat on.
Well, we're not getting room service. All right. How about this? How about we do a loan?
I don't do loans, kid. You're lucky I'm taking you now.
All right.
For all I know, you could be a bunch of fugitives or something.
I grab your clothes and I pull you in. And I say, I've been through. Well, I grab your clothes. I've been through more hell in one day than you've probably been in your entire life. Now, no more games. We already paid. Put us on the ship.
Give me a coercion check.
Yeah, what he said. We already paid.
Give me a coercion check, Jay.
A what check?
Coercion. And make it a hard one. Give me 3 purple.
A coercion check. What is... What is that like?
Under your skills.
The only thing I got that would be close would be cool.
Oh, there should be coercion in there. Yeah.
It's two above coercion.
He might not have. Okay, make it your willpower, whatever your willpower is, which I think is. Let's see, Renzo. Yeah, you don't have coercion, so yeah, whatever your willpower is.
Oh, here it is. Okay. It says a yellow and a green diamond with a.
For coercion?
No, for willpower.
No, how many willpower do you have?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's vigilance.
Yeah. Should be 2. You should be rolling 2 green die.
Okay.
2 green die and 3 purple.
Oh.
Failure and a threat.
Ouch.
So as you pull in,
I'm gonna end up fighting this guy.
He doesn't flinch. He just looks you dead in your eyes. He says, "Boy, I've seen just as much, if not more. You want to fly off this planet? Then I suggest you pay the 50 credits. Otherwise, stop wasting my time."
Excuse me,
And
gentlemen.
he basically pushes you back a little bit.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me, sir. Here's 50 credits.
You're paying for him?
Or are you paying for yourself?
I better only pay for myself because that's all I got.
No, you got like 1,000 credits on you.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, you've got 1,000 hard currency credits.
Oh.
And that's all you've got to your name, though.
Okay.
Right now, that you can get to.
All right, listen, sir. I'll make a deal. 200 for. Scratch that. 150 for everybody. I'll pay it up front right now. We can get off the ship. We can get going.
Kind of eyeball everybody else.
The slow one doesn't count.
Fine, I'll take it. Everybody head up to the galley. Don't go anywhere else. Wait for me there. I'll be up in about 15 minutes. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank Kylie, sir.
Yeah. You see he gets up and folds up his chair as you guys head up onto the ship. Bring this up for you so you can see what you're looking at. Okay, so that's what you're looking at there. That's what the ship looks like. That's your interior. As you come up, you can see entry hatch there. So you'll come up into there, and you'll come into the galley where the seating is, and that's pretty much where he's told you to wait for him there.
All right, I'm gonna take a seat on that round bench style thing.
Okay.
Kind of got my hands, my forehead, or whatever like that. Like, just get this over with.
Yeah, because you just want to get the hell off the planet. You're not looking to sit there and quibble with people over stupid shit. We'll wait for.
Yeah, my character is definitely taking a seat. He'll take as much space as he can on the one against the bulkhead. The long.
Okay. So, tell me what the interior kind of looks like. Like, how's it decorated? What do you see as you're in there? What do you expect it looks like?
Who are you talking to?
And all of you, as you enter the ship, what's it look like inside?
I would think look kind of drabby. Couple signs.
That's the sense.
Really nothing much. Tore up cushions where we're sitting. That's kind of what I would say.
Yeah, there's like a lot of holes in the cushions. Maybe some space duct tape over a lot of the cracks and stuff like that.
Some weird disco ball hanging from the roof.
I start questioning whether or not I feel safe on this thing.
Sure. Yeah, there's probably a lot of very ad hoc fixes for a lot of things. Sure. And anybody else have descriptions? So far, we've got a disco ball and duct tape seats.
Well, I probably see in some corners there's debris and spare parts and broken spare parts and containers, empty containers, maybe some Chinese food containers that are laying around that are empty. And there's a smell. Something's rotten.
Yeah, there's definitely a smell in here.
There's something rotten.
Is that a table?
You notice that the takeout containers, that you can see an open shelf, and that's all that's there. It's like the Star Wars equivalent of ramen, and that's like all that's on here is just nothing but ramen noodle type stuff.
Behind one of those.
Anybody have a name? Let's give this food a name. The Star Wars equivalent of ramen.
Gorkin.
Gorkin noodles? That's what you see. A whole just stacks and stacks of Gorkin noodles. And like Russ said, there's a lot of empty wrappers and containers and stuff like that that's just kind of scattered about.
Behind one of the takeout boxes, I see this look like hand-carved Jawa statue or something like that. I want to kind of reach my hand behind these things and kind of put it inside my robe.
You like the Jawa statue, okay. Anybody else have anything they want to add to the core?
Is that a table?
Yes, and in the center there, yeah.
Yeah, it's all rusted out with holes in it, barely standing.
Okay.
Do I see anybody else on this cargo ship?
No, you're the only ones on here.
Okay.
I mean, it very much looks like it's been one person that just lives in this thing.
Yeah, like you said, it smells.
What's the? I mean, is there anything that I see mechanically that is like, okay, this is totally not safe?
Give me a perception check. or mechanic, whichever one you want to give me, at a average difficulty.
Let's see, two green. Okay, doing mechanics.
Okay.
Check. Oh.
So, you don't notice anything that looks unsafe. What did you want to do with all your advantage? I'll say that with that much advantage, you do notice a lot of mechanical parts. Like you don't know if these are parts that are supposed to be in service on the ship, or if they're just spare parts, or if they're just parts to something else completely. But you do notice a lot of that. Is there anything else you wanted to use that much advantage for?
Yeah, I'm going to actually use it on, with my 5 advantages, I'm going to actually kind of just go up to the ship's captain and just say, hey, I see that you're using give him off some mechanical stuff, terminology that he would know or be familiar with. So
Okay.
if you need any assistance with something during the flight, just let me know and I can give you a hand fixing
Okay.
it.
Okay.
To kind of make it, hoping to try to make him a little more friendly.
Build a rapport with him a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll bring him in. After you guys are comfortable for a bit and you're kind of taking in your new sights and smells, he comes in, puts his hand up, rests it on this cabinet that's there by the door. Okay, folks, listen up. My name's Den Jiren, captain of the CS Prophet. This isn't a cruise ship, understand that first and foremost. You have access to your bunk rooms, the refresher, and this room here. That's it. Stay out of the cargo bay. There's nothing there of interest to you. I'm only hauling crates of capacitator housings, and they ain't worth a lot. It's going to take us about a week to get to Zastiga. There'll be breakfast and dinner, which I'll provide. If you don't like what I'm serving, you don't eat. Plain and simple. Beverages besides water cost extra. I'll spend my time in the cockpit, and I don't want to be disturbed. Any questions?
Yes, excuse me, sir. Just in case you need any assistance with mechanical things on the ship, please don't hesitate to ask, because I did see that I name off some random ship part was looking a little rusty and stuff, and if you need some help getting some stuff repaired, I can definitely assist you with that.
Yeah, well, give me a charm roll real quick. Let's see, maybe you affect him a little bit. Average difficulty.
Average difficulty? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Nope. Didn't like that.
So as you're talking about the parts and stuff like that, he just kind of cuts you off, brushes you off. Yeah, first, that was a rhetorical question. I didn't want an answer. Second, yeah, I can take care of my own ship. Just mind your business, I'll mind mine. And he turns around, and, thanks for flying Den Space Lines. And he kind of chuckles to himself at this, like, really bad joke, and he turns and walks to the cockpit. As he gets to the door, because there's 2 doors to the cockpit. There's the intelligence room door, and then there's the cockpit door. The intelligence room door was already open, and he walks through there, and he gets to the cockpit door, and he goes to open it, and it opens about halfway, and then it shuts again. And you just hear him, hits the button, and it opens up halfway, and he bam, hits it one good time, clang, and then the thing opens up. He walks inside, and then shuts it behind him.
We're on a bucket of rust. I'm used to flying first class.
Based on our conversation, he's definitely military, plus the way he talks. Only because I've worked with military in the outer sector, not actually in it.
A few minutes later, he comes over the intercom. And you're, beep, beep. All right, buckle in. We're about to take off, and the prophet likes to dance a little when she does that. You can hear the engines firing up, and eventually the ship takes off. And you notice that the ship has this really bad shuddering motion at low speeds while it's still in atmosphere. I mean, everything's just kind of like a car that's really badly out of alignment. And once the ship breaks atmosphere, though, the shuddering smooths out, and it's just gliding nicely. You hear Den come back over the intercom. He's like, "Stay strapped in. We're entering hyperspace." And you can hear the hyperspace engines fire up, and then you hear them drop off. You hear them fire up, and you hear them drop off. Waits for a few minutes, they fire back up, and then you can feel the jolt, and you can hear the hyperdrive engines kick in. A few hours later, the door opens up, and again, the door only opens halfway, and you see Den, bam, hit it one good time. It shuts, and then it opens halfway, and you can hear him mumbling and cursing to himself a little bit. And you hear, bam, it hits it one good time. Boom, and it finally flies open completely. And he comes back, and he's like, all right, we're in hyperspace. Feel free to move around. It's going to be a long trip. Get to know each other if you like. If you don't, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. And he grabs a can of Carillion Cola out of the fridge, and he just turns around and walks back up front, goes through the same song and dance with that stupid cockpit door. Finally, it shuts, and you guys are left to yourselves back there.
I don't know. I pull out my data pad and just start, trying to maybe catch up on some work or something that this unexpected, well, not unexpected, but this trip, I've had to kind of put off because of this trip. So I'm just.
Give me a perception check. At easy. Because you'll have no HoloNet communication connection or anything while in hyperspace.
I'll just even just.
No, I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're going through, you're kind of bored, and you kind of notice that you have a couple messages on your comm that you received a few hours ago that you didn't catch.
So I'll look at those. I'll look at the earliest one.
The latest one is a message from work that says that your vacation was denied and you were to report back to work on Monday, whatever the cycle might be for for the planet. You're to report back to work. Well, this was dated before your vacation, or just before you arrived on Coruscant. So, for whatever reason, this message didn't get to you while you were on Coruscant or before you left. The second message is another one from work that basically says, due to your absence, we regret to inform you that your position has been filled by someone else. We apologize for the inconvenience. You may pick up your final check in 2 weeks' time.
I just kind of just slam down my data pad, just just bang it on the great.
Right.
And I look over at Jasper. Great.
What? What did I do? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I've been sitting here. I've been sitting here. What did I do?
You didn't necessarily do anything, but now I get to go find a new job.
So you guys been to Stego before?
That's my hometown.
You live there.
Well, yeah. It's where I grew up. Where we
Yes.
both grew up.
What do you guys know about the place?
I don't know. How many credits do you have? Information's cheap, not cheap. Let's say, 50 credits for some information?
Let me go tell the pilot that I didn't pay for your ship travel.
Well, he already got the credits. I don't care. I'm on the ship. We're in hyperspace. What's he gonna do? I look at my brother. Kick us off the ship?
I look over
Make a
at
mutiny.
Card and I'm like,
Ignore him. There's several districts, cultural districts, let's see,
so
and just kind of give a brief little rundown of the districts, what the planet's like. Their main source of income is mining and stuff. And
how do I put this? You've been to Coruscant too, then obviously, since you just came from there, right?
yes,
You know how it's run by bureaucrats and the system and the senators and all that. I heard from a friend they have something like that in place on the planet we're headed to.
there's a few ruling parties, so to speak. There, a couple of different factions. The Mobathi clan and the Red Hand are kind of the some of their. I don't know, Chris. If
Give me Damon, give me an underworld check, underworld knowledge.
All right. What's the difficulty?
Let's say 2. Okay.
2 successes, 1 threat.
Okay. You've heard of the not the Mobathi clan, but you've heard of the Red Hand. They're pretty well known throughout a lot of the galaxy, just as being information traders. If somebody needs the dirt on somebody, they can go to the Red Hand for that. They cover all aspects of life, politics, entertainment. They're like the TMZ, Anonymous. They're that group that can get whatever information somebody wants. That's what they're primarily known for throughout the rest of the galaxy. So you do know that much.
So in your opinion, just so I know a little bit and kind of try to stay out of trouble, you understand, who would you say is the most influential that you want to kind of steer clear of?
It depends what kind of business you want to do.
So they don't really have.
I not over at him, not over at Jasper, and it's like I'm dressed not like exquisite, but I'm dressed nice, where Jasper's in jeans, t-shirt, leather jacket type,
I'll throw out there that that, and you can explain this to him, and you can take this information from me, Damon, as him explaining it to you a little bit. That it's ruled. It does have a government system and everything. The chancellor of Damasa is Jared Shul, or Jason Shul. He's been in charge for about 19 years now. He was the youngest chancellor to ever be elected on Zastiga at the age of 31. When he came into power, he ushered in a lot of reforms of what was once like the really corrupt political system on that planet. It still is corrupt, but not on the surface like it was before. He's a very popular ruler. He does his best to stay in touch with the people and that, so he has the popular vote, and that's one reason that he stayed in power for this long. At this point, while you're discussing the politics and the criminal politics of Zastiga, you see his Den trying to open the cockpit door again, and it doesn't want to open. And he comes over the intercom, and he's like, "Hey, could somebody bring me up a Corellian cola from the fridge?"
I'm gonna get up and go to the fridge and get a cola.
Okay, so you grab one.
I'll go up there too, or I'll go up with Jasper and just
What, you don't trust me?
No, it's not that. I might just maybe try to make it a little bit easier going for all of us, looking at the rest of the group. If I go up and maybe give him a hand fixing the door.
So you hit the door, and it opens like maybe this much, and then it shuts again.
Okay, is there anything on the floor that I could maybe use to jam the door open? Like some container apart or pipe or something?
Yeah, there might be a pipe or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to find something to maybe get the door open and...
Okay, are you going to try to pry it open, or...?
No, I'm going to try to prop the door open so I can hand them the cola.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The door opens, still not enough to really get a hand through there at all. And you can hear him in the front. He just just hit the damn door, kick it or something.
I'm sitting back hearing and watching all this, and I kind of turn my head because I'm starting to chuckle.
While this is all going on, I'm gonna kind of look at Renzi with the other two around, and what's your story?
Okay.
Good old repair procedure number 1. Wang!
Give me a. We'll come right back to you, Daemont. Give me a brawn check.
Brawn check, right? Difficulty.
It's gonna be 3.
Okay.
And throw a black one in there as well.
Great.
Because the part you're using is not necessarily a solid, sturdy item.
Oh! 2 successes and 5 threats.
Okay, so you hit it once. It's like it doesn't shut, but you can hear it like the motor in there going. So you haul back, and you're just like, bam! You just hit the hell out of the damn thing. And when you do that, you hear something fall on the other side of the room. The door opens, and you see what is sort of like a fire extinguisher. It falls and hits the floor, and when it hits the floor, it immediately comes on, just spraying like this farm retardant gel, like all over the damn floor, the walls, and you just see Renzi go, or Dan, you just see him go, oh. He just puts his hand out for the cola.
Hand of the cola.
Takes the cola.
Glad to be of service.
Yeah, thanks. I'll clean it up later. Just.
Hey, for 5 credits, I can clean it for you.
Yeah, I don't think so. And he kind of stands up and kind of starts walking you guys out the door a little bit. And as soon as you get just past that threshold, bam! He hits the button and slams shut.
Before he does, are you sure you don't want me to take a look at this? I will be more than happy. At no charge, of course. You're taking us back home.
He's like, nah, kid, just go sit down. I think you guys are done enough. I should have took passengers. Ugh.
I mean, as he's ushering us out, it's like, well, I hear that I hear from the motor that some technical terminology that of what's going on with the door motor.
Yeah, he's kind of giving you like the short answers as you're explaining it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And in the meantime, he's steadily walking you out. That sounds great, kid. Sounds awesome. Bam! The door shuts. Okay, go back to you, Damon. You were speaking with Brenzio.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over him like, you know those two?
No, I don't, but they're hilarious. I don't know if the ones. I think one of them's got to be the dumb one. I don't know. I don't know them.
All I know is
I'm glad I know them now because I could use a good laugh.
it's just caused way too much attention. What's your story?
Looking for my parents and got a line they may be in Estiga.
So you never been there? You never been there either, then, huh?
No. It's a long story. I've worked in many factories and things like that, and I came back one day from work and they were gone, and I've just been looking for them, and any line I get, I gotta follow it.
Sounds legit enough.
So a few hours pass. You're just kind of, killing time. Maybe a little small talk. Maybe taking a nap. And you hear the door try to open again. And like before, it just opens up a crack. And it shuts. And you can hear Den cursing from behind the door. And same process happens for like another 6 or 7 minutes. And the only thing that seems to change is the volume and the veracity of Den's voice and his anger. And you hear Den punch and kick the door a few times, and it opens a little bit further, but still only like maybe halfway. And as it sits about halfway open, Den, his face is just beet red with anger. And you can see him just breathing heavy as hell. He's pissed. And you don't know, it could be because he's like frustrated with having to take passengers. It could be frustrated with the door. It could be frustrated at life. He just might be this kind of person, very high strung in this regard. But as it sits halfway open, you see him breathing heavily, and he gets ready to kick the door, and he just brings his foot back. He's just really going to just punt the shit out of this door. And as he winds back to kick the door, he's forgotten about all the gel that's on the floor, which is now sort of formed into like a thin, slick substance. And unfortunately for him, as he goes and swings through, the door slides itself completely open, and both feet just go flying out from under him. And he lands hard on his back, and you can just hear his head hit the metal floor, just boom, just echoes through the whole damn thing. And you see him pick his head up a little bit, and his eyes are just super squint. And you can see him, like, he clutches his chest, he's like... and his head falls back, bam, hits the floor again. And after letting out one big groan, he's not moving. He's just laying there.
You're gonna blame me for that too.
I'll go up there. I've got a pretty high intellect, so I can, probably I'll grab the first aid kit and head up there.
Okay.
I can find one.
Yeah, I'll say after some rummaging around, it's tucked behind some boxes and stuff like that. So you can see where it was supposed to be pinned to the wall, but now there's like an empty thing, but you can see the top of the box sort of like sitting on the floor. You grab that and you run up there and open it up. And inside there's just like very rudimentary stuff, like some gauze and like maybe some space band-aids and such.
Is there like a hand scanner or anything in there for like medical?
You can tell there was because there's compartments for different stuff, and all that stuff is missing. The only thing that's left is, like I said, some gauze, some band-aids. There's like maybe an ointment type stuff that's in there. It looks like it hasn't been opened in decades, and so like the container is just really sticky and grayed. Probably long past its expiration date.
I'm gonna walk over and take a look but not try to reveal anything. Hopefully, I can help this guy, and they won't suspect what I'm hiding from.
Okay. Are we? What are we checking?
Well, when he fell, he's unconscious, right? Or is he?
At the very
I
least,
think-
he's
I think
unconscious.
we need to check that.
Yeah.
Finally, so somebody wants to check for
Maybe
a
he's
pulse or
dead.
anything.
I'll check his pulse.
Yeah, I'll, you know.
Both
I don't know.
both of you can give me, or actually, you can combine your rolls if you want to.
Hey, GM.
I'm assuming nobody has medicine, so it'd just be probably straight intellect. What?
Yeah.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna take a chance to check out the cargo.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you in just a second.
Might as well now. He's about dead.
So who? Like I said, I'm assuming neither of you have medicine.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I've got 4 in intellect, which was 4
Okay.
green.
4 green.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
What's your intellect, Renzio?
2.
2. Okay. So, Cardin, go ahead and give me a intellect check then. 2 green, 2 yellow, and it'll just be average.
All right. Wow. 1, 2, 3. 5 successes, 2 threat.
He is dead as hell. You could not. You listen at his chest. You're checking the pulse up here. You're checking the wrist. There's not any air moving in around them lungs. There's no heart beating in that chest. He is completely dead. For your threat, you come to the realization that nobody knows how to fly this thing. And we are going to screen swipe over to Daemon, who is taking this fortunate or unfortunate opportunity to poke around in the cargo hold.
So I'm looking around the cargo hold and trying to see what's inside the boxes here.
You see that there's 6 large crates in there. Well, I should say 5 large crates and 1 slightly smaller crate. They're all marked capacitator housings. There's also something that's underneath a large tarp. It looks like it's tied to the wall, secured to the wall, I should say, from moving around.
Can I check under that tarp?
Yeah. You pull the tarp off, and it's a small speeder. Not really a speeder bike. It's more of a 2-person speeder bike.
Bicycle.
Not hopped up or nothing. It's purely just a extra transport. It's not super cool or nothing like that, but it's just a speeder.
So we're hauling a bunch of capacitator parts in a speeder.
Mhm.
All right. I'm gonna.
Yep.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I guess I'll do one more scan, see if I see anything else.
That's really about it. I mean, there's the standard cargo hold type stuff. There's a lot of straps and things like that. There's like maybe a few boxes of just miscellaneous crap, the same kind of crap that's up in the galley. Just parts, some atmospheric gear, breathers and stuff like that. That's kind of strewn about. There's a mechanic's uniform that's crumpled up into the corner, laying there with a set of tools and stuff like that.
Right.
There's a small data terminal with a lot of paperwork and stuff like that laying on top of it and around it.
All right, I'm gonna head back to the cargo hold and kind of find them and go. So, about how long it took you guys to realize you keeled over from a heart attack? He's dead.
So
Well, we knew he's dead when we checked his pulse.
Well, he doesn't have a pulse. That's what makes
Well,
him dead.
I look over at
So
I look over at Cardon and I'm like, you said you know how to do some minor stuff with the mechanics on this, right?
yes.
Just is there any way you could, you know what might be wrong with this thing? Why don't you start tinkering with that first? We're gonna have to figure out how to fly this thing shortly.
At this point, the system's computer voice, you start hearing some beeping and some flashing lights from up in the terminal, and you hear, hyperspace nav point destination reached, disengaging autopilot sequence, resume manual controls. And then you start hearing a countdown type thing.
All right, I guess I'm gonna jump up in the seat. This is gonna be fun. All right, I look over at Cardin and I'm like, hey, you go work with what we need to get working in this thing, and I'll try to figure this out, and hopefully it turns out for the best.
All right, and we will end the first session right there. So we'll go back to the episode 2 next time. Thanks.